Well, good day, model railroaders. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Walters Cornerstone HO kit for the fire department headquarters. And like always, go through all your parts first, make sure they're all there. So we'll go through them and do all that. And then with your instructions, make sure you go through all of it, read them all first. And this one's pretty simple, just a couple pages. So we'll read all that and find a way to get rid of my shadow. Alright, see you in a bit when we start the kit. Okay, so we got all the parts laid out. Check them out. Seem to all be here and in good condition, not warped. So let's get started. This one's going to be a good one. It looks pretty simple. So with the first step, there's a lot of little pieces that you got to put on. You start with these columns, making sure that the little outlet boxes are down at the bottom. But you can see how many spots these small pieces connect on the sprue. And you always get little nubs on them. Now you can take a file to each one of those if you want, or just get a piece of sandpaper, nice and fine sandpaper. This is 150. I just rub it 3 times. Makes it a lot easier if you can do the whole thing all at once. And much quicker. And then just rub your finger down the side so you can feel if the little nub's on there or not. But once we get done step 1, we'll show you that. See you in a bit. Okay, so we got part 1 done, or step 1, however you want to look at it. A little bit of flashing right there I gotta get rid of yet. But pretty straightforward. Everything kind of has little tabs in behind it, so you can't really put them on upside down. And these are the only pieces here I'd watch, make sure the sills go to the top for the window. And the little trick here is with the garage doors, if you want to have a couple of them open, you have to leave them out now. There will be a base put on this later on, so can't really get the doors open and closed later. So, alright, that's part 1. Let's get on to part 2. Okay guys, so in step 2, which is up here at the top, pretty straightforward and simple. And like I said, this is so far looking like one of the better kits from Walters. Everything snaps in, only goes one way so far. Very good design. The only flaw I'm finding is these windows are very, very delicate when they're in the sprues. And this one was already broke when I got it. But this is actually holding up this part. So when you get finished part 2, take it to the edge of a table, or turn it upside down if you want. But just let it sit like that so it's flat. And just leave it for a while. I'll just show you, make sure it's off the side of the table like that. Like I said, just let it sit there for a bit to dry. And move on to step 3. Alright, see you when we get that part done. Okay, step 3 is pretty simple. You just got to glue the corner pieces on, and this is going to stick these 2 walls together that we just built. Now what I'm going to do with it is I glued these on, and again there's little tabs so you make sure they go on properly. I'm just going to let that sit here and let that dry, and then I'll put the other piece together. So we'll be on with that once she's dried up. So here in step 3, putting the 2 pieces together, it looks like a very short step, but in looking at it and actually doing it, I started by doing all the bottom section first, then I did the windows. Each time I did a piece, I just let it sit and dry. Found that to be about the best way, and the reason why you let it dry is window pieces 33 and 32, they fit in there with a couple notches, you can see that in the picture, but 36 and 35 are kind of pressure fit, so you really got to push on it with your fingernail or the nail file or something hard to really get them in there, because they are very, very tight. And then I just put some glue on the outside of it. But there's what it looks like right now. And again, gonna let it sit and dry and move on to step 4. So let's get to that. This next part, putting the last 2 walls together, and you got to build the chimney at this point too. And the instructions say you need part 28 and 37, and this is part 26 and 27. Oh, and 28's a beige part. This is number 28 here, the top of it. But yeah, it's 26 and 27, not 26 and 37. So just keep that in mind if you're looking for that part. Okay, so step 4 is quite a bit longer. Put some doors in again, leaving one out if you want it to be open. This wall, then that wall. I glued those two together. Then this wall, glued those two together. Put the chimney back on top. Well, not back up, you had to build it. And then you put it on the base. Now, on the base, as you guys can see, again, this kit is really good because you got little grooves in the floor. This sits on, the brown part sits on the outside of the floor, but these little grooves here line up perfectly. Keeps everything nice and square. So I'm just going to let that sit like this for a bit and let that dry, and then on to the last piece, or last part. Alright, talk to you in a bit. And part 5 is easy enough. It's just putting on the sidewalk. So that's this piece here, this piece there. The only thing you got to make sure you do is move it around every once in a while so you're not gluing it down to the table. Alright, see you for the next step. Okay guys, so after finishing off the last step, which is pretty simple, stick it all together, put the roof on it, the roof fence, and voila, there you go. All in all, a very, very easy kit to build. Everything lines up really well. It's all got little tabs. Ladder was a bit finicky, but again, it's got little tabs that it fits in, fits perfect. And I ended up putting that part backwards. That's supposed to go the other way, but left that door open, but I'm also leaving the roof so it's accessible. So I can get in and out of this all the time, and it does come with a sheet of plastic to put over top of the windows, but I never seem to do that for some reason. I might in this one, I'm not sure. Might actually put some walls in here too on the inside just because you can see in it and it's so big and open. But we'll put this over on the layout, put some fire trucks in it, and see what it looks like on the layout. Okay guys, just a look at it on the layout. Temporarily, of course. But all in all, I gotta say, it was a very easy build. Probably a quick build. It took me about 3 hours start to finish, and that is waiting for some of the parts to dry. And like I said, I think it's one of those kits, once you get it built and stuff, you gotta add rooms and stuff to it. Or a couple walls anyway, just to break it up. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Fire Department Headquarters build. Walters Cornerstone. Not bad at all, that kit. Talk to you later on. And bye for now.